tell me it's true.
Wouldn't that be too much?
Hell to the no.
So for those who haven't figured it out yet, word on the streets is that they're left some Easter eggs in the Ram Rebel at the auto show. And people are claiming that those Easter eggs are pointing to a Hellcat Ram. Fun fact about that, they've already built one. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video the FCA put out probably close to a year ago, I think. And they called it the Ram Rebel TRX. This was a Hellcat powered, lifted on 37s, had a light bar on it, 2 spare 37s in the bed, and it had the like Ram Runner body parts where the fenders are extended out, the bed's extended out, had over a foot of suspension travel. This thing was a beast. Now in their video they claim, oh well, we built it just to say that we can build it, which is total BS. You do not design and custom build a truck to just build the truck. Now if you would have put in a whole bunch of really futuristic or high level technology options and made it a concept that was really off the wall, okay, car companies do that all the time to say that they just can build it, but it's not practical. The problem with the FCA and the TRX is you build something anybody can build, technically. You built it with parts that you could buy and turn your truck into a TRX. So what does that tell me? You had full intentions of building that truck from the get-go. You were just putting it out there to see if there's any interest in it. So, what are the 2 Easter eggs, the main ones, that make me believe that the speculation is probably true? For one, the clock on the screen for the Ram Rebel says 707, which is also the power output of a Hellcat. Number 2, I didn't notice it, and I probably should have, because I've been trying to keep an eye on the TRX for some time just to see if they would build that truck. And I had a feeling that even though it was almost a year ago that they put out, you know, we're not going to put it in production, but we built one. I had a feeling that when they did the redesign for 2019 is when they were going to do it. Because they weren't going to build this truck in the previous body style to just next year completely redesign it. So the fact that this is kind of coming to light kind of makes sense. But what I didn't catch was the hood. Now if you look at the design of the hood on the TRX and look at the design of the hood on the new Ram Rebel that is at the auto show, they are eerie similar, just almost exactly the same. That got my spidey senses tingling a little bit. Now, I have made a few phone calls, talked to a couple friends of mine, and someone I know has stated to me that someone that they know has already told them, yeah, we're doing development on that right now. So if that's true, that doesn't mean that it's coming. But they are working on it. Which is basically that it's coming, unless something completely off the wall happens and they end up scrapping the whole program. But another thing is too, is I remember several months ago, 6-7 months ago, reading on one of the Ram forums that apparently someone had started a petition to build. Meaning, someone had started a petition, went out and found 1,000 people willing to put a deposit down on that truck the second they announced they're going to build it. And got signatures for all 1,000 spots in a week. That's quick. Now, as a car company, I understand that 1,000 units of something is nothing. When you're selling 70 to 85,000, Ram 1500s a month, having 1,000 people say, hey, we're going to buy 1,000 TRXs isn't a whole lot. But here's the thing. The price on that truck is got to be astronomical. It just has to be. If you look at the Dodge Demon, for example, all right, it's a stripped out Challenger with over 800 horsepower and some drag race parts. But all in all, it's just a stripped out Challenger with a ton of horsepower. Now the TRX they claimed is going to be basically a detuned Hellcat motor. Well, that's what they said they're going to do. And that's what they said the power output's going to be. But here's my thing on that. You know damn well that people are going to tune it and get all that power back. So my theory is yes, it'll have 575 horsepower normally. But I think the Ram, if they make it, it's going to come with a red key. And it's going to give you the full enchilada. I mean, could you imagine a Ram, 700 horsepower, and 37s? If you build that truck, FCA, I'm talking to you. You build that truck, I'm going to buy one. I will have one in my life for absolutely no reason at all. And if anybody were to ask me why, because reasons. There's absolutely zero reason why I need that truck. Why? Because I live in the city. There isn't really a whole lot of places to go off-roading. I have to drive on pavement 40 miles one way to work, which for those of you who have off-road tires know, driving on pavement tends to chew up off-road tires really bad. So there's a multitude of different reasons why I don't need that truck. But I feel like I really need that truck. So SCA, if you build it, I'll buy it. But here's the thing. If I buy it, I will test that truck. I will test the shit out of it. Up north to the off-road park that I know, and I will beat the piss out of it. I'll take it to the sand dunes, and I will beat the piss out of it. And God willing, I'll even take it out to the desert or to the mountains out west. I'll drive it out there and beat the piss out of it. With that being said, the only reason I can think that they would detune a Hellcat engine to 575 horsepower and put it in the truck is the four-wheel drive. Maybe, I know for a fact that they have a transmission that can take it. So the 8HP90 is the 8-speed, the code for the 8-speed that goes in the Hellcats. It's just a beefed up version of the 8-speed that comes like I have in my truck. My truck, the transmission code for this one is an 8HP70. So I know that you have the 90. I don't know if they have a configuration of that transmission to support a transfer case, because on the back of the transmission, instead of having just the drive shaft hooked to it, you actually need to have kind of like a housing that the transfer case actually bolts to. So I don't know if you would need to do significant changes to the transmission to accommodate, but I'm assuming that would most likely be one of the things that they're in development about, or as a design element trying to change at this particular time. But the four-wheel drive system, the only thing I can think of is that maybe they can't get the transfer case to hold the power, which I would not imagine that that's actually the case. I mean, if you know you have a 700 horsepower engine and you're going to put it in this truck, then I would assume that you would go all out and try to make the truck capable of handling all 707 horsepower. And you can't tell me that someone can't make you parts to whole four-wheel drive, the whole drivetrain, you know, with the front axle, the front shaft, and the transfer case. I know for a fact you can find someone to build you those items that can handle the horsepower. So that's why I'm kind of in the speculation that they're saying 575 horsepower now. But I think this is going to be another red key item, which I have absolutely no problem with. I would love to have a truck that has a red key. That'd be amazing. Now, my previous video, I explained that I'm getting a 19 Ram. Now, when I made that video, when I filmed that video, was before I seen anything about these Easter eggs or the possibility of a Hellcat Ram. Now I've seen this, and I'm going to take a real good look, and I go to the auto show in 2 days. I'm going to take a really good look at that truck and see if there's anything else on it that I can find that might point to the fact that the TRX is coming. So here comes the main problem. Problem A is the reason why I even have a pickup in the first place. It's because I have a camper. I tow with it. I need to be able to put stuff in the bed from time to time. I need to do truck things with the truck. Well, the TRX is purpose built, and that purpose has nothing to do with towing. Meaning it's probably not going to tow anything. It will have some sort of towing capacity, obviously. I mean, it's not going to have a zero towing capacity, but I have a feeling it's going to be significantly less than what I need, which in and itself, it's a bit of a problem. It's actually the main problem, and I keep thinking about it in my head. And that actually goes into problem number 2. I can't have 2 trucks, and especially not getting the 19 Ram that I would want with the options that I want. I mean, I feel like the truck that I want is probably going to sticker at somewhere in the $65,000 range. And my guess, price-wise on the TRX, is going to be similar to the Demon. And that's why I was talking about the Demon being a stripped-out Challenger. You're getting so much more as a build, I feel, in a TRX. So I have a feeling that truck's going to be close to $100,000. But the Raptor is not a $100,000 truck. So you have to take that into account, because if they're going to try to compete in the space with the Raptor, price-wise, they're going to have to be kind of close. At least within, I'd say, probably $5,000. I mean, if you build a TRX that's $20,000 more than a Raptor, I don't really think you're going to pull a whole lot of people away from buying a Raptor. So if that truck, even if that truck is $85,000, I can't afford to have, even if I lease my new 19 and then try to buy the TRX, that's too much. I mean, from a financial standpoint, that's way too much money. And I really don't want my TRX just sitting in my driveway being a driveway queen. I want it out in the wilderness, brown instead of the original color it came in, and just all sorts of awesomeness. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, that's the word on the street. TRX is coming, and I really, FCA, I really hope you build this truck. I really do. I have a feeling that even if they do build it, finalize the development, put it into production, that we probably won't actually see that truck until this time next year at the auto show next year, which is fine, because then gives me a year with my 19, and like I said, most likely leasing that truck for 2 years, so that would actually give me time for the TRX to be unveiled at the auto show next year. By the time it goes into production, starts hitting lots, will be within a few months of my lease ending. So it might actually work out perfect if they did it that way, to where I could just go from the one that I have and into the TRX, which would be sweet. But what do you guys think? Does a Hellcat powered Ram tickle your fancy? Check out the video below. Tell me what you think about that truck. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think they should do. Should they build it? Should they not build it? Would you buy one if you had the money? Let me know what you think. And if you got some other information that I don't know about, definitely leave it in the comments below, because the more information I can figure out about this, the better. So if you guys are stopping in for the first time, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. Just like that, this video's over. Deuces.